Yo, welcome to the first YouTube video of many, hopefully. That would be quite nice. So yeah, welcome. Today we are actually just going to be talking about one of our clients, Dan Wilsell. Now, what a human being he is. So yeah, basically just going to present his story and his sort of, let's say, his journey from start to, I wouldn't say finish, because I think Dan is somebody that's always sort of surpassing his goals, and always looking on for that sort of next thing to go and achieve. So yeah, so we basically look at, we took Dan really from somebody who was low in confidence, all right, and not really in control of his mindset, training and nutrition, and turned him into, as it says, a thriving human. This bloke, honestly, is like a diamond to be around. So let me share. This is the first time I'm actually presenting. Full presentation. Present. Perfect. Let me move my little camera up here. So let's get into it. So to paint the picture, this is Dan's story, all right? So Dan, aka Mr. Social, honestly, like this guy to be around in a social environment, even when we do the one-to-one PT stuff with him, yeah, great laugh. Honestly, I feel like he's somebody that you want in literally every social event. Like, he's that guy. But yeah, he was someone who, for as long as I've known him, is always a smiler. You know, he's always happy, he's always enthusiastic. He's somebody that you kind of want to be around because he almost brings like a positive environment wherever he is. That's what I've always felt like with him, for as long as I've known him, and someone you can genuinely just talk to at any point. Now, the issue with Dan is obviously being a teacher, like a highly driven individual, you know, like most teachers are. You know, it wasn't showing. He wasn't showing really how he was truly feeling, how he felt about himself and his physique, and how him almost appearance wise, how he was really deeply feeling. Now, obviously, it wasn't through a lack of trying, because even looking at his physique picture here. If I'm being brutally honest with you, he showed me a picture of way before this, and he was even bigger. So through a period of before he even joined the program, he was consistently trying different things, different methods. Really sort of training volume wise, really high. He didn't really dive too deep in terms of his nutrition, but was really trying to smash the training part out, and was almost to an extent out training a poor diet, and that's fundamentally what it was. So he was doing his beach fit classes, he was consistently playing football, so his cardio was through the roof, and it was down to the lack of awareness and knowledge around training and nutrition that was causing that major barrier. He lost an element of timber, let's say, until he joined the program. And I think he was kind of like plateauing. I think he was ready to sort of, let's level it up a little bit. What am I missing? What are my main barriers? And I think a lot of it was down to nutrition and that resistance training element as well. So, most individuals that join the team get themselves in shape through sustainable approaches to seek true levels of accountability, improve confidence, etc. And this is what really the main focus was with Dan, is joining a sort of a community. Like I said, he is a social guy. That helped him become accountable. All right, so they're making sure that he's part of that sort of community environment. He knew that because he's doing it alongside other people, I think this kept him really, really accountable and brought about that element of sustainability with it. And I think that drove his confidence really, really consistently high as well. Like I said, Dan, however related to these, but was unique. Dan is a unique individual, and I love him for it. I absolutely do, really, really do love him for it. So this is what we really did. If we dive deeper, this is what we really did with Dan. So it was, to begin with, it was to understand what Dan really, really wanted to achieve, okay, and why he wanted to achieve it. At the end of the day, it was, if we dove deeper into what that sort of pain barrier was, that pain point for him, it was confidence. It was how he looked. He didn't like how he looked. All right, not being about the bush. We could all go off numbers on the scales. We could all go off data. But at the end of the day, simply how do you look in the mirror and how do you feel with how you look is the true measurement. All right. If you're somebody that's overweight watching this now and you're not happy in yourself, what are you going to do about it? Do you know what I mean? Because, all right, you could weigh yourself every day. We could talk about getting your true body weight or getting an average every week. For me, that's great. That's a form of measurement, whether you're losing, maintaining or gaining. And it helps plan our nutrition, but realistically, how do you bloody look? All right, and I think that's something that was one of Dan's initial pain points. Now, coming along his journey at the moment, I mean, he's looking fucking incredible. He's about to go on holiday to Benidorm. And I'll probably say he's probably in the best shape I've ever seen him at the moment, which is incredible. And the second thing we did is just believe in him. You know, he's already tried an element of dieting on his own. He's tried doing, you know, the training, the sort of the additional cardio, the football, the beach fit in these classes. And showing that level of belief in him, I think, was crucial for him going, actually, do you know what? I'm going to really take this leap and commit. You know, he really did commit to following a diet example plan. He built that repertoire of knowledge around that as well. And because, you know, simply believing in what he can go in to achieve and showing him, you know, that belief, he's thrived. Honestly, he's thrived. He's not only, you know, lost the timber, he's got himself in incredible shape. He's been a major asset to our community chat. Honestly, he shares his meals, he shares his wins, and he's almost an inspiration for a lot of people in our community. So, you know, an incredible person from that point of view. And it simply come down to believing in him, watching him commit, and then he's achieved everything basically by following through with that commitment. And I think one thing that what we gave to Dan, what we did, is that structure. You know, being in a teacher environment, having those set hours every single week, planning his meals, prepping his meals, he thrived off structure. As simple as that, you know. And because we almost gave him an example meal plan and allowed him to have that flexibility with decisions with foods that he enjoyed, and also understanding the level of tracking that he can go and do, it gave him that flexibility that he needs. All right, so that he could obviously have that variability in his food and things like that. And giving Dan authority, but with high levels of support and accountability, worked a treat. It really did. He really did. He's never missed a check-in. He's never missed communicating. He's adhered. He has been an absolute wonder. Now, if we move on, what did we actually teach specifically to Dan? Now, simple. It is really simple. And if anything, you know, it's probably not as glorious as you're going to think it is. So, simple nutrition and tracking. All right, learning how to achieve balance with macronutrients and calories to reach a desired goal. All right, now these two pictures are literally pictures that Dan sent me. These are something that I didn't really plan him. He's gone on and developed that repertoire. So it's understanding what macronutrient goals to go and sort of hit and strive towards. That's going to bring about performance in your training good, but also bring about that desired goal, whether it's losing body weight, whether it's gaining some muscle mass, whether it's full body recomposition, whatever it may be, or even all out mass gain. We've given those calories and macronutrient targets with examples on how to get those targets, and then he's gone off and developed that repertoire around that. Resistance training, giving him a structured split to suit his training that he enjoys, all right? But also cater for optimal progress around his busy lifestyle. So, you know, not telling him he needs to be in the gym fucking every day, he's got to do an hour and a half of this and this. It's a structured plan, whether it's 3 days a week or 4 days a week, that works for him around his football, around his beach fit, around his teaching as well. That's going to work. All right. This is how we sort of achieve that sustainable approach. It's because at the end of the day, it's not just looking at the next fucking 8 to 12 weeks. It's making sure that you can fit this in, and it's a non-negotiable for the next year, the next 2 years. And at that point, is you've now developed that habit and routine, and it's part of your lifestyle. You're not going to be able to change that. And that worked quite nicely. And the way in which we structure our training as well is that I try and back it up with a level of science. All right, trying to optimize potentiation. All right, warm up certain muscle groups to aid other muscle groups later on in your session. Okay, so there is a bit of method behind the madness, but we make sure that it incorporates exercises that you enjoy as well. You know, and that's one thing that I think Dan really did thrive off. Being organized, Dan was naturally very good at this. All right, he was really good at this, and consistently speaking to him in a way in which can save time was crucial to making it sustainable. All right, Dan's gone through an initial cut, achieved a photo shoot, which I'll move on to the next point. He got to photo shoot level shape. All right, so he's gone from not being happy with his body to being topless in a photo shoot. Like, that's the level of confidence that we've built with Dan. And if I'm being honest with you, because he was so organised, because he was so committed to it and was ready to adhere and follow that plan, he really did reap the rewards. Really did. And I'd argue that the shape he is right now, which is about 6 to 7 months post photo shoot, he's in better shape now than what he was in his photo shoot, ready for a holiday. So for me, he's taken his physique to that next level. All right, and because of the way in which we've already done a reverse plan for him back into maintenance and into a slight surplus over the Christmas period, he's seen different ways in which that he can maintain this. All right, and because his consistency is so good and his routines are so established now with the training and his nutrition, it's now really easy for him to keep. And I think that he's going to achieve that for a very long time going forward. And photo shoot, we took Dan from not being happy with how he looked to completing a topless photo shoot. Honestly, magic. And that was part of one of the pictures. Honestly, look at that. That is ridiculous. And my question is why haven't you done what Dan has yet? Like, why haven't you started this? All right. And it's typically a simple answer. It's because you don't really know or understand how to. That's normal. All right. If you've never invested in a coach, you've never invested in your own physique, you've never invested in money into developing yourself, making yourself as optimal as you possibly can, your mindset, your training, your nutrition, and you're doing that for yourself, but not only yourself, your family, your kids, your wife. You want to improve your energy. If you've not done that already, you're not going to understand how to. All right, it's as simple as that. Could you do brain surgery tomorrow? Probably not. It's the same sort of mentality, okay? And I can say that about myself. However, if you went 6 months, even to 12 months, investing in yourself, remember self-care isn't selfish, then you probably would have the knowledge to help your own family members, to help people around you, and also influence your children, your grandkids in the future in eating fucking well, training well, and just looking after yourself. You don't realize how much you could actually thrive just by looking after yourself and how much you can actually influence other people. Once you've learned some of the basics of making lifelong changes, it becomes a lot easier. You know, understanding how to track your nutrition, understanding what sort of foods work for you that you're more likely to stick to for longevity, what sort of caloric intakes you need to achieve to bring about body adaptations, as well as the macronutrients that back it up. You know, if you don't know it now and you haven't done it before, then you're not going to know it tomorrow. All right, that's so normal. All right, you haven't invested before. This is why Dan has thrived. It's because he's taken that leap and he's committed to making those lifelong changes. Individuals do really well. Individuals do really well in life because they are brave in making changes for themselves. Dan was fucking brave. Do you know what I mean? He was making the start of his journey on his own, and I think he was ready to commit to make that leap in committing further. He wanted to take it to that level. He wanted to really, really dive deep so that he knew that when he achieves his results, he's able to keep this for life. Okay? He's developed that accountability. He's developed those habits. And if I'll be honest with you, I've got, as a coach, major confidence in Dan that he can withhold these results sustainably for the rest of his life. Like, I'm so confident in that. And like I said, self-care is not selfish. Dan is now body confident. He eats like a champion, understands his personal balance. He knows his caloric ranges, how to maintain, how to develop muscle mass and a bulk phase, if you like. He knows how to cut. He has developed this knowledge around that. His training knowledge and confidence in the gym is through the roof. If I was somebody that basically didn't know how to train, I've got confidence that I could probably go to Dan and say, mate, write me a training plan or take me through a PT session. I genuinely think that he's developed this knowledge so far that he could probably do that. His energy and aura has been redeveloped and is now sky high. Honestly, this guy to be around feels unstoppable. You know, I'm a big believer that your vibe attracts your tribe. He is somebody like that. All right, you want him in the room because the atmosphere in the room is just buzzing when he's there, and he's a great person to be around, and he's happier and more motivated than ever. And I believe that in his cut for this holiday that he's got coming up, yeah, he's achieved something pretty bloody special. Dan is consistently thriving, yeah, 100%, 100%. So, you know, if you want more information on this and on Dan's journey and how you could probably thrive like Dan, and you've seen it, DM me the word Dan so I know exactly that you've seen this. And yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's set up a little bit of a plan. Even if you want to jump on a free call to do a bit of an audit on, you know, where you are at the moment, we can set that up for you. All right. So I hope you enjoyed my first YouTube video on one of our clients' successes. And yeah, recommend subscribing. There's going to be many more of these coming out soon. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you again soon.